Welcome to my channel. My name is Micah Ash, and I am a first year in college. We're gonna restart.
Yeah, there's a lot to digest, but there's also a lot to confess. Everyone speaks out of pocket, causing a mess. Everything's very complex, there's too much stress. Rather work than ask for their respect.
Welcome to episode 1, getting to know me and my walk, what I'm doing and why I started. So, why I started to put in a sentence. I wanted to start out before anything else by reading the Bible. So God really told me to read John chapter 1, verses 1 through 5, and really emphasizing like 3, 4, 5, kind of the second half of that. So, in the beginning, the Word already existed. The Word was with God. The Word was God. He existed in the beginning with God. God created everything through Him, and nothing was created except through Him. The Word gave life to everything that was created, and His life brought to light everyone. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. And so, as Christians, we are the light, and we are bearers of light, if you will, to put in a word or a kind of cheesy statement. And so we are created by a creative God. This is something that I have really strongly thought about and walked through in my life, is we are created by a creative God. And so we are creative beings. In whatever manner that may be for you, we are naturally creative beings because we were created by a creative God. His creativity kind of trickles down onto us. And some people may be more creative than others, but I don't think anybody's more creative than the other. I just think you have to find your outlet of creativity, which can be music. I think it can even be sports. It can be fashion. Designing fashion, wearing clothes, whatever your outlet of creativity is. I think we all have one. Drawing, art. I think everybody has their own outlet of creativity in some sort of manner. And so we're going to be talking about all of those. And, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll reply to all your comments, or even message me on Instagram. I'll answer any DMs that I have about this or about my channel. I'll put both of my Instagrams in the description below.
There's a lot to digest, but there's also a lot to confess. Everyone speaks out of pocket, causing...
My name is Micah Ash, and this is my channel to talk about faith and fashion. I kind of want to give you guys a preface of who I am as a person. So I have been wanting to start making content in some form or manner, and last week I was talking to my cousin on the phone. He has a YouTube channel and he just hit 11,000. I think today I checked this morning he has 11,000 followers. So me and him were talking yesterday because he just hit 10k, and we were talking about his growth and how cool it is and how awesome it is. And he was like, you need to start making content, bro, too. He's like, you need to start doing this. And so that was kind of the first initial push for me. It was like, oh, okay, wow, I do need to start doing this, I need to start making content in some form. And then this week, actually today, we had this guy come over to our school, and his name is Steven. And he was talking to us about our futures and talking about we prayed and we took time and we asked God to reveal things to us that we need to work on, or for our future. So what we need to do to make our future happen, and things He can show us in our future that we can look forward to and that we need to do, and kind of just revealing some of our future to us and some steps we're going to take in our future. And so after we did that, we kind of all sat back down, and he was like, okay, I have been praying before I came up here today, and I felt like one of you needed to start a YouTube channel. And he's like, would you raise your hand if you feel like God's been telling you to start a YouTube channel? And I raised my hand, and when he said that, it just hit me right in the heart, and I felt it. I knew what it meant. I started literally today. He was talking, he was like, go home and make your first video. He's like, I don't normally talk like this. I'm not normally gonna be like, go do this. It's like, but go make your first video today. And so I went and I got a bunch of stuff, a mic, a little backlight, and I set all this up. so I can make this video and start my walk so you guys can follow me through this. And that's kind of the story of how this channel was started, really. It all started with me in fashion back in middle school. Before any of this, before I came up to college, back in middle school, I used to like to dress different than other people. I would I would wear not even just bright colors, just like colors that people normally wouldn't wear. Like I had like pink pants that I would wear, and I would have like a shirt that I could match with them. And then I got some Jordans that were pink, like my freshman year of high school. And it all started with shoes. Actually, I was a big sneakerhead. I got my first pair of Jordans, and ever since I just loved Jordans and I love shoes like that, and slowly grew that collection. And I started giving those away because God was telling me, he's like, hey, you need to give some of these to people who will wear them more than you will, some people who need shoes. And so I started giving some away, giving clothes away as God's called me to do. So he's used fashion as a method for me, not only to reach other people and to talk to other people, but to do ministry in a sense and to give to the poor like he's called us to do all throughout the Old and the New Testament. The Bible talks about giving to the poor, and Jesus has really poured that into me through fashion. And the two really started to intersect for me in high school, which is when I started giving away clothes and shoes that I wasn't wearing anymore, not for money but for free. And so I would just go through my closet about once or twice a year, and I put all my stuff in a bag. And now this all wasn't super willingly, but I loved the process. I loved the feeling afterwards and the joy of the Lord that I received when I gave away clothes and stuff like that. And I think he really used fashion as an outlet for me to show other people that just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you're boring, doesn't mean you have to dress boring, doesn't mean you wear corny Christian t-shirts either. You can wear Christian clothes that are actually interesting or actually cool. And that was one way that I reached people. And I would have conversations just because of something I wore, and they were like, oh, that's a cool shirt, where'd you get that? And I'm like, oh, I actually got this from a Christian clothing brand. This is a Christian t-shirt. I'm a Christian. I would start talking. And that's actually one way that I would reach people and have good conversations about God, is by using and wearing my Christian clothes. And then when someone would ask a question about it, and they'd be like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? Or, hey, I like your shirt, what's it about? And so I would just have conversations and intentional conversations about that. No, I'd always make sure to refer it back to God and be like, oh, this is from a Christian clothing company. You go to church anywhere, man? I'd be like, I'm a big Christ follower. This is a Christian t-shirt, actually. You go to church anywhere? Hey, man, do some stuff like that. And just basically talking and like using it to bring God up in conversations. And that's one thing that I would do a lot of. So yeah, it doesn't mean wearing corny Christian t-shirts. It doesn't mean anything like that. It can mean wearing corny Christian t-shirts if it has people asking questions, really. Whatever it takes, to show God through our fashion and our lifestyles. So that's all for this video. I'll catch you guys on my next video, which will be more of a podcast type of episode. And that's going to be me and a couple of my friends. Their house will have some mics set up, and we'll talk through God and some fashion stuff and creativity and the process of God and creativity. A little bit of everything. Thank y'all. Catch you next time.